Keep it moving.
We should have normally done.
Tell the front desk.
Tell Boom
And
and
Mrs. Duncan, if you're doing attendance, Mr. Hoffman has not joined us yet.
Thank you.
Okay, and I believe we are live streaming now. Is that what it's showing there? May anyone confirm that?
Confirmed.
All right. So just to review here today, in our agenda, we have one extra item in finance. That's to recommend to proceed with the demographic study at Conewago Valley School District conducted by Decision Insight for a period of 3 years, beginning November 2nd, 2020, and ending November 1st, 2023 at a cost of $11,750 per year. And that is where we'll get our demographic study of all the potential buildings and developments that are going to happen and the impact it will have on our school district.
Are those dates subject to change?
Yes. In what sense?
And November 2nd was last week.
Well, that's when we can move the dates up a week or so. Like they're flexible with that.
Okay.
Yes. Ways and means, there is additional ways and means. Number 3, recommend and authorizing the following courses for the school year, and also recommend the acceptance with appreciation of the generous donation of 29 boxes of hand sanitizer wipes from Hanover Target for New Oxford Middle School.
Karen, I'm gonna have you announce that, and I would tell you that when you say number 3, at the end of our meeting, or at the end of our minutes here, board meeting minutes, all the explanation is there, if anybody else wants to read it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then property supplies, there are no additional items. You're not doing much with property supplies right now. So that's a good thing. And just for those that may be watching the live stream, if you're wondering how do I link to do a public comment, you would go to our website, school board, down to board agendas, then scroll down, and under 2021 will be the November 2020 agenda that you could link to, and we'll have the link to make a comment if you wish to on any agenda item this evening. As of right now, we are still staying with nobody making any comments yet, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Yet. Let's see who's trying to join us. I'm going to start admitting principals to the meeting.
And do we have our student report tonight?
Isabella will be joining us tonight. I invited her, so yep, Isabella Banker will be joining us.
Okay.
And Dr. Corbin may be joining us. I did invite her, so she'll be giving us a special ed report just so that you're aware of what's going on in the world of special education right now, just because obviously that takes up quite a bit of time and money as we're finding out. Now, speak of the devil, there's Dr. Corder joining us.
You like to live dangerous.
What's that?
You like to live dangerous.
I do.
All heard the devil?
So as we wait, I'll share a quick little story in about 5 minutes. I had the pleasure this weekend of spending some quality time with Mr. Cobb on the golf course. And needless to say, he has these chips that you get, whether it be for a good shot or a bad shot. And by the end of our round of golf, I was definitely, I think I had most of the bad shots. And pretty much I collected all those chips. So
I was your partner. I had some of them too.
yeah, well, it was definitely a team effort. So we got to see parts of the course that people probably aren't supposed to see, but needless to say, it was a beautiful day and it was time well spent. Just to relax a little bit. I got home and I was so excited because I got away for 4 hours and I didn't have any worries in the world. And I came home to a flooded basement.
So this Mr. Cobb does exist. I mean, he's sort of a phantom here. I mean, we really
You only
haven't.
see him via live, maybe the
Yeah.
Zoom. Yeah, he's
He stays very mysterious.
yeah, he's a tough guy to follow. Lives a life that many of us wish we had.
We will meet someday, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess even the interview, it was Zoom.
And when you do, be prepared.
That's right. I think we're just waiting on Dr. Sanders. I know I saw Mr. Mueller popped in there. So Dr. Sanders and Dr. Bowman, I believe, and Isabella we're waiting on. So, couple minutes
Good
here.
evening, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Trust you're doing well.
His Ravens won, so he's all right
Well-
this week.
What? I'm celebratory cup of coffee right here too. Got my Ravens mug. Mr. Cobb likes that.
Yeah, we squeaked by. Still perfect record, buddy.
Now we just need Penn State to win a game.
No,
Oh,
They got a lot of work to do.
no. I just heard the interviews on Channel 8 tonight. That was bad.
Well, evidently there's a lot of infighting going on there.
Yeah, it sounded that way.
Because everything that was on the radio today said it's not good. It's
Yeah, it
not
didn't look
better. Not now,
But the
lucky
guy that
time
brought
for
in,
Franklin to go.
part of it. But in the players, it's just not going well.
you know,
And
sounds
it
like
shows.
he's losing the team. And it's time for him to, Barber needs to make a decision. Can't lose the team.
Yeah, I don't know who's responsible, but it's really showed. I mean, on all aspects of the game.
It's the first time I'm very, I'm like to say I didn't waste a lot of time sitting around watching the game Saturday. I was out doing stuff outside.
I was hunting, so it didn't bother me one way or the other.
Went in just before halftime, saw the score. I'm like, oh boy.
That's why they turned
Just
it
stay
on.
back outside.
Well, I have 7:29. If they chime in, I'll definitely get them. But if you're ready, sir, we can begin.
Okay, is Mrs. Duncan ready?
Mrs. Duncan, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Okay, well then we will open up the meeting, and the November 9th board meeting. We will open with pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There, I wore some more appropriate clothing. I didn't want to let Dr. Sanders alone.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you for the moment of silence.
All right, you had sent to you the minutes of the October 12th meeting. Before I start, sorry. We did have a brief executive session before the meeting. I need to announce that first. Sorry. All right, we did have before us the October 12th meeting, the minutes. I need an approval.
I move that we approve.
Okay, is there any additional corrections to those? If not, I need a second.
Second.
Can
All
you
right.
announce your name when you're saying first and second? That would help me out.
Okay, Terry was second, Jeff was first.
Okay, thank you.
And now I'm going to ask all to approve the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It carries. All right, we will open up the building reports and Dr. Russo, I'll let that up to you.
All right.
See who's in front of you.
Yep. So we have, we're going to have Dr. Bowman from the high school join us first.
Let
Me unmute myself. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready, Dr. Russo?
We are. It's your show, sir.
Okay. Start out. Just share a lot of good news here tonight. Some things to celebrate at New Oxford High School. We recently had 16 students make District 7 chorus. This year they were held through virtual auditions for obvious reasons. But that actually sets a new record, exceeding the record from 15 that was set, I believe, last year or the year before that. These students will be moving on to regionals automatically, and then they will have the ability to make states through a re-audition process. So we had quite a few of the 16 that actually placed in the top 12 that will be eligible. So we're wishing them all the best. During those same auditions, Grace Nielsen earned her place as the first chair accompanist for District Chorus, which is a really big deal. We believe that may be a first for New Oxford High School as well. And our virtual auditions for District Band and Orchestra will be next month. Our marching band this weekend received their official results for the season. This year was the first opportunity they had to ever compete nationally because they were able to do so virtually. And with a score of 91.83, they received the Mid-Atlantic Region Bronze Medal with a special award for Best Color Guard. And in the national championship, they placed 4th overall, also with a special award for Best Color Guard. So a big shout out to our marching band for all the time and effort that they put in. It certainly paid off again this year. Our open house was held on October 21st. We utilized virtual meetings for parent conferences this year. Most of our teachers had very full schedules. We kind of think that virtual conference could be a consideration, maybe a win for the future. It allowed parents and teachers to connect while parents still can be in the comfort of their own homes. So time will tell if that's going to pay off more in the long run or not. We want to recognize Duck Doe. He was our Student of the Month for Rotary on October 27th. His parents were in attendance, and we were honored and proud to have recognized him from New Oxford High School. All of our Keystone benchmarks were completed last month using Linkit. That's a new venture for the high school. And we held a training actually this afternoon with Lynn Miller from Linkit on how to access, analyze, and utilize that data to inform our teaching and curriculum. So we're excited about that new venture. And then I have the athletic department report from Mr. Worley, which is as follows. Kind of the wrap up of our fall season. The girls soccer team improved throughout the season, including securing a tie against a strong York suburban team and defeating Eastern York in the final game of the season, which was the team's first win in over 3 years. They look forward to returning to a normal offseason this year, as well as addressing some of the incoming freshmen for next year. The boys soccer team ended the season with a 5-6-1 record and battled all season through injury and quarantine. The girls volleyball team ended the season 500 with a 7-7 record. The YAIAA cross country championships were held at Gettysburg, and Lucas Rollerson placed 18th in the AAA boys run. Unfortunately, he just missed qualifying for the District 3 meet by 1 place with a difference of 5 seconds in his time. The girls tennis team went undefeated this year, 8-0 in league play, winning the Division I title. They earned the 3rd seed in the District 3 tournament, but lost to Hershey in the AAA team tournament semifinal. The field hockey team ended their regular season with an amazing 11-1 record and won the Division II title. They earned the 2nd seed in the District 3 tournament, losing, unfortunately, as well to Hershey in the quarterfinals. What you may not know about Hershey was they are a juggernaut. I learned after the fact they actually have 4 D1 commits on their team this year, and they are still obviously in the hunt for not only a district title but a state title. So I thought our girls played really well. They played all the way till the end of the game. They did not give up and played their best match. I think they just went up against an absolute offensive juggernaut in Hershey. So congratulations to the field hockey team. And then this past Friday night, our football team, who went undefeated in league play, 6-0, winning the Division II title this year, were defeated against Warwick by 14-12 in the 5A semifinals. But boy, did those boys leave it all on the field. So couldn't be more proud of our football team for the way they fought the season and the way they ended against a strong and big Warwick team. Looking forward, the co-ed competitive squad for cheer is preparing for the league meet in the county, which is tentatively scheduled for December 19th at Dallastown. The PIAA District 3 and YAIA all have meetings this week to discuss the outlook for our winter season. We've gathered information from all of our interested student athletes for winter sports and are hoping, fingers crossed, to have the season as close to normal as possible, but are awaiting any changes to schedules and competition guidelines. We are also currently working with the Hanover Bowling Center on the beginning of a club bowling team, which should eventually turn into a PIAA sanctioned team. And lastly, we will be hosting our first signing day of the year on November 12th, and we will be celebrating 7 of our student athletes who would continue their academic and athletic careers at the collegiate level. That's it for the high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bowman. All right, Dr. Corbin, what's happening in the world of special education? It's like you're down the hall from us or something.
Yeah, it's just like I am, aren't I? Yes. No, special ed's going well. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here this evening. I just want to reiterate what Dr. Bowman said about the high school open house. It was a huge success. It was also a success for the special education teachers. They held a lot of IEP conferences, did a great job on those, a lot of parent connections, either by phone, virtual, a few in person, but not many. So it was great to have that contact with them, and the teachers loved it. Also a welcome to Brittany Barnes. She is coming on into the high school here and is adding into our special ed team. She is a great addition and she has hit the ground running. It has been a wonderful, wonderful thing to see in our high school. In the middle school, Gina Baldoni has also come on in and kind of taken over, and they are just thrilled to have her in the middle school as well on that team, and said she is just on top of things and really making a difference for the students. So that's great to hear. Also, the Saxon math that we implemented, which is a very skill-based intervention with some of our 7th graders, is going very, very well. Kat Stewart is doing that in our middle school. So we couldn't be more pleased with that and with what the kids are learning there. The last thing is our gifted education. We are in the middle of research and doing a deep dive into our gifted education. Very excited as Dr. Perry and I begin this process and look to expand and create that committee in the second half of the year. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Corbin. All right, Mr. Cobb and Dr. Sanders, Wonder Twin Powers Unite. Go ahead, you two.
All right, looks like I'm on first. Welcome to have a good evening, everyone. Both CT and NOE were involved in a core essentials assembly, of course, virtually last week to work on gratitude for the month of November. And Fred Elberly, I believe his name is pronounced, is a retired military veteran. I informed the students of what a U.S. military veteran is and how to show gratitude to those who served in the military. So it's kind of a connection between our gratitude and, of course, Veterans Day as well. Both CT and NOE are involved in the middle of their virtual book fair. So congratulations, Pam Adams, doing a great job in both those buildings. Of course, we're in preparations for our parent-teacher conferences coming up November 19th, 23rd, and 24th. So we're getting all those lined up using Skyward. And last but not least, I know Mr. Cobb's going to talk about the Race for Education at NOE, but CT, we're doing something a little different this year. We're doing the core circuit educational fundraiser. So the students are going to work more on, in phys ed class, working on different physical attributes instead of just the walk. So they're going to be on push-ups, sit-ups, and those kind of things to earn some cash for the CTE. That's all for CTE. Mr. Cobb.
Hey, good evening, everyone. At NOE and CTE, Christina McLaughlin from the LIU provided an overview of our Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports Big 3 program and next steps to both CTE and NOE within the past week. So thank you to her. A special thank you to Kim Malkin for organizing a Veterans Day activity in which our students will be sending cards and messages to those who served in our military. And last but not least, our students have raised over a total of $5,250 for our Race for Education PTO event at NOE. Our students enjoyed a movie and individually bagged popcorn for raising the money. A special thank you to UTS for providing the popcorn for our students to enjoy. Our students are only $100 away from their next milestone, in which Dr. Watkins and Mr. Cobb will become Principal Pumpkin Pie, and students will have the opportunity to douse us with pumpkin whipped cream or graham cracker crust using social distancing measures. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, and please let me know when that happens. 'Cause,
Yeah, what day is that? Because
we need to set up a live Zoom feed on that for sure.
I will do so. Absolutely. They're only $100 away, so I think they're going to achieve their goal.
I'll make sure that happens.
I think you got a donation.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Armacost, CVIS.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Just a couple things. First off, Student Council is up and running, and we're holding our meetings via Zoom. So that's a new experience for us and for Mrs. Spencer. Our music department is working on preparing a virtual holiday concert. So we purchased some equipment. We have chorus up and running in small groups, and so we're excited to see how that goes, albeit virtually. As Dr. Sanders said, we're preparing for parent conferences as well. The slots are filling up. We'll be able to judge how Dr. Bowman did at the end to see how that does for our parents zooming in instead of actually being in the classroom. I think it's a little bit different at our level, but we'll see how that's going to go. Finally, or two other things, sorry. Our hybrid help group, has taxed our creativity and trying to meet the needs of some of our kids. They're struggling with their at-home work. So every afternoon, late afternoon, we've identified kids that need some help, and they come down and work with our teachers, get started on their work for the next day. So that's all up and caught up and at least got started. So they're prepared when they return to school for their next at-home day. And finally, this Friday, couldn't be more proud of our PBIS team. We're going to receive the Implementing All Three Tiers with Fidelity Award for the Pennsylvania PBIS, which is the highest award that they offer. Very few people in the state receive that. Probably the only school in Adams County, possibly York County. And I know it's a good program for our kids. It's not about the awards, but to be honest with you, sometimes it is about the awards that you're recognized for the hard work that you did. And I just need to thank my PBIS team. And I will tell you that the members of our team have been together for 7 years or more. So it's kind of like school board to get on there and stay. So we're pleased with that. And you can do good things when you have people for a long amount of time. So we'll let you know how that goes, albeit Friday virtually. So that's it for CVS. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Armacost. And best stuff's always in the middle, they say. Mr. Mueller, what's happening in our middle school?
Thank you, Dr. Russo. Good evening, school board and school community. And thanks for the opportunity to share some words here about our middle school. We'd like to start just by welcoming Connor Rhodes to our building. He's a new IT technician that we have, that Doug has in the tech department. So we're excited to welcome him as he begins his career with us. Again, our online book fair goes November 16th through the 29th. So Mrs. Moolah has that up and running here, getting ready to roll. Just like the other buildings, parent conferences are coming along. They are Skyward based. We are doing the Zoom feature as well, and or conference call if we need to do that by team is how we're doing it. Very popular move here. I canceled our faculty meeting for the month of November, and our teachers are working exclusively in teams to try to comb all of those needs for the conferences. So we have that going on. Today, members of the high school and the middle school ELA departments were in a district office wrapping up open educational resources training in conjunction with the LIU. That is the last, I think, right now in a series of meetings with Nicole Bond and Ben Smith from the IU. So again, they were curating resources, free resources today that we're looking to build and use in the future in ELA. We also had a positive Ox Strong celebration for our A-Day students today. That program continues to grow. A lot of kids getting those awards. Again, COVID and the pandemic is challenging. We've had to tweak what we've done, but that hasn't stopped the positive behaviors in the reward system that we have in place. So it's always popular on Donut Day. So again, kudos to Mr. Beeman for helping that out today, and some of the other gift cards that were earned were cool as well. Just giving everyone a heads up on our award-winning What's So Cool About Manufacturing team. We're ready to go and trying to sort out what this is going to look like this year. Mr. Dahl's telling me that they're suggesting a virtual format, so I'm not really sure what that looks like. I do think and all that, what that can look like, but I'm excited to hear the details, and I know that the team we have coming back, they're chomping to get started, so hopefully we can do that. Two other things I would have in the middle school. I'd just like to say that many of our teachers are taking key steps with use of technology. As you know, we were scheduled to be one-to-one this year anyway, and we were forced kind of in March to do that. We have a lot of teachers who are ready and some who are getting ready. Mrs. Kahn's a great example of that. She'll be the first to say she wasn't real cracked on the whole thing. But again, to her credit and others, she's using Flipgrid this week. Students were in there recording themselves on a Flipgrid, portraying either loyalists or patriots, and making convincing arguments to their classmates using evidence, using that platform. So kudos to her and other people like that who are really taking this stuff and running with it. Again, another, I guess, thing I could point out was the fact that we really embraced vocabulary and IXL. Those were free platforms last year from those companies. We were fortunate enough to get grant money and ESSER funds to do that. All of our students have FlowCab, and for every teacher can do that. In IXL, we have it now in science and social studies also, in addition to math. And again, I can just tell you that our folks are using that like crazy. It's beneficial to many teachers, and the students are really benefiting from that, particularly on their remote days. So that's been a big help for what we're doing here in the middle school. So again, pretty excited about that. But other than that, thanks for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Muller.
No problem.
All right, thank you from all the building reports. All right, do we have our students
We
tonight?
do. Isabella Bankert's here, and I believe she's ready to present. If you're ready, Isabella, the camera is yours, so to speak.
All right. So this month, Student Council is hosting a month-long canned food drive. So today we went around and collected cans. We got 41 cans today, so participation's a little low from the start. So we're hoping we can get that up a little bit. We're collecting cans and monies, and we're going to donate that back to the food pantry in New Oxford. And we're also planning our Spirit Week right now. We're going to send out a Google form to get students involved with that and see what kind of Spirit Days they are looking for, to maybe get like some new ideas and stuff and for that. And that's pretty much it for the month of November. Then we're planning for December, what events and activities we're going to do then for that.
All righty, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our assistant superintendent.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. This evening, I have 7 courses that are on the agenda for your approval. There will be 6 more courses that will be coming your way December 7th. So at our next board meeting, Dr. Bowman and the curriculum leaders and myself will be introducing 2 science courses and 4 more English courses. And other news, we've been preparing at the high school level for the Keystone exams, which will be taking place after we return from the holiday break, January 4th, for 2 weeks. And our Conewago Valley Online Academy students will be taking their Keystone exams with us. Our Lincoln's Edge students will be taking their Keystone exams at the intermediate unit here on Billerbeck Street. So we're excited. We've had our first official meeting to train the SAC, so to speak, and the student assessment coordinator for Kelly Coon and Dr. Bowman. And they're going to be furthering their training with the teachers coming up here shortly. Also, all of the teachers in administration at the level are preparing to do the Pennsylvania state training that is required, where we have to maintain certifications as part of that process. So with that, that's all I have for you this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Rudisill, are you ready?
I am ready as going to be. All right, well, good evening and welcome. If you recall, I believe it was in October, we shared out a survey of a potential return to full face-to-face instruction for our students. We found, and with our teachers. So we found that definitely at the 4th through 6th level, there was great interest to see if there was a potential to return to full face-to-face instruction. So what we've done since October is Dr. Armacost, myself, Dr. Sipe, Dr. Perry, Dr. Corbin, Mrs. Frankel, along with Mrs. Biken, have met probably 3 or 4, maybe I would say 3 to 5 times, trying to figure out what can we do if we want to bring students back, full on face-to-face instruction. So right now, just sharing out, we have a potential return date of January 19th, 2021 for our students 4 through 6 as a potential to return full face-to-face instruction. That'll be Monday through Friday, with every Monday still being a half-day early dismissal for the academic calendar. What we'll look to do is send a survey out on December 1st to all CVIS parents, asking them if we are to return full-on face-to-face, would you send your student back to us for a full face-to-face instruction? Along with that survey, we will attach a frequently asked question document that will explain and provide more information before they answer the survey, so they know what they're getting themselves into if they choose to return face-to-face. Because one of the things we will share up front is we will have to update our health and safety plan as we can no longer guarantee 6 feet of social distancing in the classroom if we come back face-to-face, full instruction at CVIS. In addition, there will be no or very limited mask breaks moving forward because of being close for proximity. Those are some of the compromises you have to make if you want to go back to a full-on face-to-face instruction. Also, families may be asked to have their child switch classrooms to help balance out the numbers in each classroom. So that's another thing we'll have to look at, depending on the numbers we have coming back, to make sure that the classroom sizes are equally balanced out, especially when we're trying to place students in there, knowing that we have to maintain or try to maintain at least 3 feet of social distance between them. It makes it very difficult to fit students into a classroom. So keep that in mind with that with that report that more information will be coming out to parents on December 1st, so they can make some decisions on what they would like to do. We're looking at potential return of January 19th. It does not guarantee that we are returning January 19th, as situations and conditions may change due to COVID, numbers, Department of Health, all those may play a role in that. So please keep that in mind. As when we're sharing this out, there is no guarantee that this indeed will happen, but right now, as we planned it, this is the potential that we're looking at of January 19th. And we'll also let you know, as we are planning this, starting on December 1st, when we return from Thanksgiving break, we'll be meeting with the secondary administrators also to talk about a potential return to instruction and a date with that also. But I think the important thing to stress here is, irregardless, if we are to come back, we can no longer guarantee the 6 feet of social distancing in classrooms, because we obviously put more desks and more students in there, which will decrease that distance, which also then decreases the amount of mask breaks that would happen in a classroom, just because they're going to have to be staggered And we're going to have to figure out ways to get that to happen, that if you do take a mass break, you're not taking one right beside somebody beside you, but other maybe 2 seats away, so that you still have that 6 feet of social distancing that happens, and they'll have to be staggered throughout, even in that time period. Any questions on the return to instruction plan as it sits right now?
No.
Okay. And finally, with the holiday season approaching quickly, I want to take this opportunity to wish our school board, everyone at Stockton Leader, our administrative team, teachers, secretaries, grounds and maintenance, custodians, aides, cafeteria staff, students, and anyone I may have missed at Conewago Valley School District, a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I hope each and every one of you finds time to relax, rejuvenate, and spend time with your family and friends. So from myself, Dr. Perry, and everyone here, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoy that time. And that's all I had to report from the superintendent.
Okay. Well, let's hope you do the same.
We'll try.
Okay.
We'll try.
So, have you had any public comment?
I'm going to check that right now. And we are still sitting at the same number we were the last time. And that was 69 comments. So we are good to go right now.
Okay. All right. Jeffrey, you want to do honor and recognition?
Sure. First off, congratulations to Duck Doe, who was selected as the New Oxford High School Rotary Student of the Month for October. Congratulations to the New Oxford football team, which was nominated and won the Times Area Player of the Week. So the whole team, that's pretty cool. And then congratulations to the Marching Colonials for getting first place in the 2020 Division II Pennsylvania State Championships with special awards of Best Music, Best Visual, Best Percussion, and Best Color Guard. And then lastly, just congratulations to the students that have been accepted to various colleges. And that's the honors and recognition.
All right. Congratulations to all. All right. Now we will move on to the treasurer's report.
Balance of the 4 accounts is $28,790,446.76. I move the treasurer's report be filed for audit.
Okay, we have a motion to move. Is there any questions or comments made on the treasurer's report? Any of our folks at home? If not, I need a second.
I'll second. Melanie?
Okay, Luce first, Melanie second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Gauker, Ms. Gauker,
Yes.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Mr. Groft.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to finance.
I'd like to recommend approval of items 1 and 2 with the additional item 3 for approval.
Okay, we have items 1 and 2 with the additional items of 3. We have a motion to approve. Is there any additional comments or questions? If not, I need a second.
Second, Jeff.
Jeffrey, second the motion. So we would need a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Ms. Gauker,
Yes.
Mr. Groft.
Yes. All
Thank
right.
you.
We will move on to Ways and Means. Tara, do you want to take
I
that
would
one?
like to recommend items 1 and 2 with additional items 3 and 4, and note for item number 3 that the course descriptions can be found starting on page 10 of the agenda for approval tonight.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a motion to approve. Is there any additions or corrections to the approval? If not, I need a second.
Second, Luke.
Luke seconds. So we need a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Miss Gauker,
Yes.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
and Mr. Groft.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. We will move on to personnel. Jeff, would you take that one?
Yes, I'd like to recommend approval of personnel items 1 through 10 with additional items 11 through 15.
All right, we had an approval. Is there any addition or corrections to the 1 through 10 or 11 through 15? If not, I'd like a second.
Second, Tara.
Tara seconds. We need a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Souter,
Yes.
Mr. Kinshu,
Yes.
Miss Gauker,
Yes.
Mrs. Bolton,
Yes.
Mr. Craybill,
Yes.
and Mr. Groft.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. We have no property and supplies or the use of facilities for tonight. As far as dates to remember, December 7th will be our reorganizational meeting. And that usually starts early, so everybody be aware and be prepared. We'd like to have everybody here so that we can reorganize and get ready for next year. All right, is there any other business that can come before the board? Anybody have anything that they would like to say or do? All right, and did anything come in from the public?
Just checked one last time and we're still at that same magical number.
Okay, with that, I would say at 8:02, the meeting has been adjourned.